my friends, how's everyone doing today? Welcome to my channel. I'm so glad you're here. I'm Sheree. My channel is Turquoise Dreaming. And if you watched my video yesterday, you can go back and watch that if you want. It was a little sneak peek and kind of little work on this journal here. It's a little golden book notebook or ring binder notebook. And so yeah, I went ahead and finished it, and today I have the flip through for you. So let's look through it, and I've got a little goodie pack here I will show you at the end. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. Like I said before I showed you yesterday's video, as I was kind of alluding to what my next project was, I said it was some kind of type of binding that I have never done before, and this was it, a ring binder. I've never made a ring binder from scratch where, you know, you don't already have some type of notebook with a ring binder in it and you're redoing it and adding and turning that into a journal. This was from scratch, where I took this little golden book, added a ring binder mechanism, and made it into a ring binder journal. So a lot of fun, and yeah, I kind of figured out I had to run through the process in my head and then figure it out, you know, as I went along to actually, know how to do it. So I learned a lot, and I think it came out really nice. So I used this book here. This was in, I showed you at the beginning of the year a pile of little golden books and Disney books that I want to make into journals this year. And I think this was in that pile. I did switch out, like I had to just say I had 10 little golden books at the beginning of the year that I showed you that I want to make into journals, right? So some of those I switched out because I figure if I have the same amount, that wouldn't be cheating. You know what I mean? So say I had 2 Bambi books and 2 Sleeping Beauty books or something like that. I switched some of them out so that I wouldn't be doing like the same journals that I did last year, or I wanted to do some. Cause yeah, last year I did do some. I think Sleeping Beauty, Cinderella, Bambi. So I wanted to do something different. So I think you get the idea. So this one might have been one of the ones I switched out for. I don't remember which ones, I brought in. But this one, whenever I see it at the thrift store, I thought it was super cute. This little princess cover. And just this cover and the colors and everything are so pretty. So you can see I have a little vintage heart trim here. And then I used the same, the little golden spine under here as the spine. So that's why it's about, we measured it in the last video, 1 1/4 inches wide. And then here's the back with the same trim. Actually, I was going to cover this. I'll put a little collage over this. I forgot to cover that as I was finishing up. I just, have so many things running through my head. I forgot all about but I'll cover that with a little cluster of some kind. But anyway, that matches and coordinates. And you can see I have a tassel on this binder clip. I do have a eyelet here. I have an eyelet. And sometimes I'll put I'll hang the tassel through the eyelet. But this spine is very thick. It's thicker than a normal spine. It might be almost twice as thick when you make your own spine from like chipboard or whatever, because I used the golden spine, and this, it went through, but it's not like all the way through where you you can see the crimps on the other side where it's holding on to the other side. It went through, but I can't see the crimps. So I was afraid if I put like this pin or anything through there, it would pull it out. So you can put something through there. Just I would say don't put anything in there that you're going to take in and out a lot. Like this is supposed to be removable, so that's why I didn't want to put it through there. If somebody takes it in and out a lot, that could come out, that eyelet. So, long explanation, I know. So that's why I ended up putting it on a binder clip, just so it's removable and put back on as many times as anybody wants, and it's not gonna, don't have to worry about anything. But next time I won't use the little golden book spine, the gold pieces. I'll make my own spine so that I won't have that problem, because I don't have that problem with my normal spine that I make. It does go through, and you can see the crimps on the other side. Long explanation. Okay, and so we have our little wooden bead tassel here. This is a little silver bead that is probably from jewelry. It's like a little charm, you know, it's tied on with a little, there's a little loop on the top. And then there's a little red bear button here. That's super cute. This little flower is from jewelry. So I thought that was pretty. It almost looks like a little diamond there in the middle, but I'm sure it's not a diamond. And then this little girl, I had to put a little girl on here because a little girl on the front cover, you know, she looked like a little princess too. This is just a little charm, but I had to put her on there as a little princess on the charm. So, and then lots of pretty wooden, oh, and there's a key on here too. So you can say that's the key to the door on the front, right? Or key to the journal, or key to your heart, whatever you want to do. But then I left the strings long, and I used red strings here, so I thought that looked extra pretty too. With just seeing the strings in between and hanging down is I thought was really pretty, being that it's red string. So you can cut that off if you don't like it so long, or you can add to it, whatever you want to do. So let's open up. I'm going to put the goodies over here for a second, and then I'll show you these at the end. But here, in yesterday's video, we put the pockets in together. So this is the one in the front, inside the front cover, with this red library card. And you see I decorated it. It wasn't, we just put it in. I said I would decorate it later, and that's what I did. I have a little piece of scrapbook paper here and some pretty vintage trim. Here's the library card. And I have a little surprise for you inside on the library card. Just watch for a second. Boom. A little bunny. There's a little bunny hiding in there. It's a little washi sticker that I put under there. I thought that would be cute to have a little bunny hiding inside that library pocket. And then I put this little piece of fabric on the top. It's sewed on. I thought that was so pretty with the colors of this journal. It was in my scraps, and I was like, oh, that is the perfect. I saw it in the bottom of my little scrap bag. I was like, oh, that is the perfect one. I had to reach down in there and get it and sew it on there. So that little bunny is hiding inside that pocket. And then down here I put a little paper flower, you know, from my my flowers. And in the middle I put a little bingo, one of the little bingo chips I showed you recently in the last month or so that I brought home. That little bingo game. It had those little bingo chips in there with the numbers. So that is one of the bingo chips right there as this center of the flower. And so on the front of the, see, here's the note. This is the, it's a 6-ring binder mechanism that I attached on the spine. And on the front and the back, I put a piece of, just like I do when I do signatures, you know, the folded signatures with the folded paper, and it's sewn in. I put cardstock on the front to protect all of the papers underneath and in between. There's the same cardstock is on the back here. So let's flip. Now I put as many as I could in here. Papers, I probably put too many in here. So if you get this journal and you say, oh, I can't flip this, there's too many, just take some papers out. You can either open it with the little end pieces. Let me open it in the middle so everything doesn't fall out, because like I said, I have a lot of paper in here. But you can open it here with the little end things, or you can just open it like this. I found it, as I was putting papers in, I found it easier to just do this than to try, because the paper's a little bit longer than the mechanism, so you have to kind of reach under the papers. So it's easier just to, boom, whenever you want to open the notebook rings. So let's flip, like I said. So I've got a pretty paper here to start out the papers. Double-sided. This is the title page. All the pages from the book are in here, so you'll recognize those. And then I've got, this is dyed notebook paper, or I guess it's coffee dyed. I don't remember what I dyed it with, but I think it's coffee dyed notebook paper. This is wallpaper. And I have clipped on here, this is the card we made together. That was the card Maria sent me, and I just love this little bunny. And we put this pretty purple, light kind of lilac paper on the back, so it could be a journal card because it's so light. You can write on there. And I've got a few paper clips here with things clipped in. They're all decorated. So next page here, this is craft colored paper. And I have a little, this is an acetate sticker doily there at the side. I love the white on craft color, so I put it there because I just knew it would be so pretty. Page from the book. And then Like I said, the pages are a little hard to turn because I have too many papers in here. But you can take some out or do whatever you want. So on the back of this is scrapbook paper. On the back I have a plastic pocket. This was a scrap from a divider page that you would put in a notebook, you know, 8.5 by 11. That was a scrap, and I just love to use those scraps for pockets, so I sewed it on here. And in the pocket I have a little drawing card made from an index card, a little gnome on there. So lots of room to write on there. And then this is a tag that we made together yesterday. I said I was inspired by these cut-aparts. Here's one right here that had like, they look like two different pieces of scrapbook paper. And so I said, let's turn, I had an old picture sitting here. This does, you would never know this was an old picture now that it's a tag, but it was an old picture and I didn't like the picture. But the back of the picture was fine. It's nice, a nice writing space, and it's nice. It looks kind of vintagey, and it's the natural aging on it. And so we just took two pieces of scrapbook paper that I had sitting here and put them together and made this cute little tag. So that is actually an old picture, and that is in this pocket. And then this is a little, just a little, this was probably a scrap too, and just, this is a pretty little sticker, and made a little drawing spot out of that, like a little booklet almost. And this is a little time card here. Some vintage ledger, pretty ledger, page from the book. Scrapbook paper. This is a flip up writing spot. You've got all that room there. And then in back of it, I have a pocket. And this is two journaling cards I have in there. Just two fun little journaling cards that I needed to do something with. So there they are. As I'm finding things that I've, you know, I've stuck here. I mean, my craft room is organized, but like these were in my scrap box. I don't know why. I have a whole section, a whole little box that I have all my journaling cards in there, you know, so I know where, when I want a journaling card, I go to that box. But these were in my scrap box. And I said to myself, why are these in here? And I put them out on my table. I'm like, okay, I'm going to just put these with these cut-aparts and other ephemera that might go into this journal. So I kind of like have been doing that. If I find something that it's either in the wrong spot or it's something that I keep telling myself every time I see it, I need to use this. I put it out on my table and kind of make myself use it. So this is a piece of stationery. There's two pieces like this. I cut, it was, you know, twice this size like this, and cut it in half and made a little page out of it. So now it's a page in here. Music page. Page from the book. And pretty, I put some pretty colored paper in here. This is Astro Bright's paper. So there's a blue one. There's blue and purple, and here's one of the blue ones. And then I put a vintage card, which you'll see coming up in here. One of my vintage cards that I said also, I showed you at the beginning of the year, stack of vintage cards, really beautiful vintage cards. I said I'm going to use these this year. And I made two journals out of a couple of them. There's about 10 or 12 of them. I think maybe 10. Anyway, I put one in here. So this is one of the envelopes. All you see on here, all this kind of distressing, is natural aging. And in here, what do I have in here? But this is a little, I guess you could call it a tag or a bookmark. But it's made from, this side is like glassine paper, that's sandwich paper. It has flowers on it that I put on the back because it was just plain cardboard there on the back. And so in this piece, there's another piece in here too of this. And this is from a box that I got at a thrift store that it was two little vintage tea sets, that like ceramic tea sets that I got for me and my granddaughter to play with. So in the box, I have one tea set still in the box. So that one is still put away. I haven't got that one out for her yet. Because we got one out, I figured we didn't need two at a time. We'll just deal with one and see what happens. She hasn't broken any pieces, so that's all good. And anyway, the box was so cute. I just love this little color and everything that I cut what I could out of it. You know, the front was just clear cellophane, and then the back of it was just where I got these pieces, where there wasn't any writing. So there's one piece made into like a bookmark or a tag. And then I don't think I glued any of these in here, but you know, I showed you the cut aparts that I had a little fun the other day, just just cutting apart the cut aparts and rounding the corners, and they're so cute. So I put 2 here. One, this is a blank one that could be a label, and this one is you and me. So super cute little cut aparts in there also, in this very vintage envelope. And then here is a scrapbook paper with some of that paper ribbon that I showed you. Well, no, it's coming up this Thursday. You'll see on my Thrifty Thursday. This paper ribbon I show you where, talk about where I got it and everything. So you will see that. But it's really cool, pretty paper ribbon. And then some of the cut aparts here also. One of the 4x6 pieces, one of the little squares, and then these tags that I left together, and you can cut them apart. A lot of things I put in my journals are for you to have crafty fun with, or decorate or whatever you want to do. But so you can cut these apart, you can punch the holes and put ribbons in them, or you could keep them together, use this for writing, or add pages to it and make a little booklet. So whatever you want to do. Just all for whoever gets this to have crafty fun. Page from the book. And then scrapbook paper. On the back of this one, I have 2 pockets made from the cover of a paper pad again. And then in the pockets, I have some little tags. This one was made with my die cut machine. And it has the little stitch marks around the edges. So you can... It's wide open for you to do whatever you want with. It's a plain blue kind of cardstocky paper. Got a little tiny hole there. And then this is just made from scraps. Whoa! It's double-sided scrapbook paper. It's cardstock, super cute. And I've got a little baker's twine on there. So that's what's in that pocket. And then in this one here, another little yellow tag. Wide open for you to decorate or write on or whatever. And this one... too. This is a pretty kind of white and off-white pattern scrapbook paper cardstock. Those are all cardstock. So fun tags, and they all have these two. Both have baker's twine on them. Here we have a bingo card. So this is open for you to do. You can decorate on this side and add a picture over here or whatever you want to do. This is some of that like handmade. It looks like handmade paper. And it was in an album that I got. I took the pages out, and it has nice lines to write on here, and then blank on the back. And page from the book. And see, I put too many pages in here. That's why they're not turning so good. So well. On this page, this is one of the purple pages that I talked about. The purple and blue pages I put in here. So this one has a clipped on. I had to put these 2 of my... This is an Uno game, but it's a princess Uno game. So Disney Princess Uno. So since this is a princess journal, I put 2 of the Disney princesses in here. So those are in here for you to have fun with, do something with. You can make tuck spots or a little booklet or whatever you want. Writing spots. This is a little, I showed you this a couple months ago, probably when I brought this home. It's a little princess invitation, princess party invitation. It's so cute. So, of course, I had to put one in here since this is a princess little golden book. So cute. Some of that really cool. I think there was a piece in the front, too. Ledger. And then I really should take some of the paper out of here. But I wanted to put 50 pages in here and see what it was like. So now I know. I need to put a few less than 50. I think there's like maybe a couple more than 50. It might be 52, something like that. So I really should put a few less. But that was my goal, to put 50 pages in here, and I did. So you may have to take a few out. Page from the book. And then this is a manuscript music paper. This one has some notes written on it, which I thought was really cool. If you don't think that's cool, you can cover it up. I think it's cool. I did take piano lessons when I was a kid or a teenager. So, I like music, so I just think it's really cool. Scrapbook paper here. And on the back, here's the card. So this is what I ended up doing. So it's one of those cards that you open and then it unfolds. So I was going to put it in here like that, but it didn't fit. It was too tall. So I just cut a little sliver off the bottom and a little sliver off the top. You can't even tell. None of the words are missing or anything. But it made it into separate pages then. It wasn't together at the top anymore. So I sewed it together like right here, 3 pamphlet stitch with some black embroidery floss. It matched the card, so that's why I chose black. And so now you have pages instead of it flipping up, which I think is actually better. I kind of really like that that happened because I didn't think of actually, you know, taking it apart and making the inner part as a page. So, but that's what it is now. And the back page here is glued down. So it's a glued down card that you can write, you know, you got these 2 spaces, these 2 spaces, and then you still have the pretty, awesome, or original, authentic vintage card here, which I think is really pretty and looks good in this journal. So yeah, I like that idea, and I think I'm going to continue to do that in some way. So another one of these craft colored pages, and then we have a blue, pretty blue page. So that these kind of pages you can write on or glue something down, decorate, collage, whatever you want to do. Page from the book. I try to put lots of those types of pages in my journals, you know. And that's what I like in my own personal journals. I really do like just plain pages, not plain, but like either if they're scrapbook paper, whatever patterns, whatever's on them, anything. But I just don't like too much on them. Just a few pockets, you know, around in the journal to store a few things, and then full-size blank pages, so I have all the room to do what I want with the pages. You know what I mean? So that's what I try to do in the journals that I make. Wallpaper here. This is a pretty. I thought this one. I was looking through my postcards that I'm trying to use up right now, and this one, the colors went with this journal the best. So I paper clipped that in right there on the back of this wallpaper. But you have this wallpaper wide open for you to do something with. Music. Music I love using as a background. And this is an index page for the music on the back. So I love index pages too. I love the columns like dictionaries and index pages. For some reason I like columns. Maybe you do too. Page from the book. And then... there we go. I know I should take some pages out, but I don't want to. Okay, so this one's a flip out scrapbook paper. And then this is an envelope, just a big purple envelope. So this matches, this happens to be, by coincidence, the same color, just because it looks good in here, and it's the same color as the purple paper I put in here. Look at this. Here's the purple paper. And here's a purple envelope. Can you see that? It's the same color. So funny, right? But anyway, let me show you what's in the envelope. So this envelope is wide open for you to decorate. And glue pictures, whatever. Decorate whatever you want. So in here, here's the other part of the box. With that glassine paper, floral paper on the back. So that's wide open to glue a picture on, or just use it as a writing board, or whatever you want. And then I had these here. I was going to use as a page or do something with, but I didn't do anything with them, so I put them in here. They're pages from the work basket. So here's one with a little dress and sewing instructions on the back. And then here's some ads here from that magazine. A little story there. Some more information about the sweater and instructions here. So those are just a few pages that I didn't end up. See, they would have fit in here perfectly, but like I already have enough pages in here, right? I couldn't put any more pages in here, so I said, let me put those in the envelope. Oh, I forgot. This is babies from the work basket from a page 2, and I just fussy cut that out. I was gonna maybe use it in here, but I didn't. So you're welcome to do whatever you want with that. Make a tag, make a drawing card, use it in here, use it somewhere else, whatever you want to do. But it's a cute little baby. With a crocheted outfit on, it looks like, from the instructions on that in the magazine. But a page from this book. This is, the next page is it was like a little planner type book, and it has chickens on it, and the colors looked good in here, so that's why I picked it out. But lots of room to write. This says notes, and you have all these lines, and this says Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday through Sunday here. And you have all that room on the back. And it's coffee dyed. So, cute little paper there. And then I have scrapbook paper. Here I have a flip out with this calendar. In the last journal I told you I was keeping this little calendar out because I plan on putting a page of it in some way in each journal. So here it is in this one, the little flip out there. That stationery I showed you that I cut in half. Here's the other half of it. And then page from the book. Scrapbook paper, flip out here. And this is, hold on, get all the pages going in the right direction. Ledger, craft colored paper, the purple paper, page from the book. Then some manuscript paper. This one's not written on, I don't think. It's a flip out. And these holes you can always run through some ribbon through there if you wanted to. Or if you wanted this, you know, when there's a flip out, you can always make it into a tuck spot by gluing down the sides. Or you can always cut it off if you don't want the flip out, you know, and use that paper for a writing spot somewhere. This is some note paper that was the perfect size to put in here while you were out. We're out of. I always say while you were out when I see this. But it says we're out of, and you check, you know, I showed you in the last journal, if you saw that flip through, that you check the groceries that you need. And this is the last page, double-sided scrapbook paper. There was an extra little piece here that I folded over and made a tuck spot. It's sewn down. And there we go. And this is the back. This is how I decorated the back pocket. So this library pocket we put in together, and I said I'm going to decorate it later. So this one has, we put the dictionary paper on together, and this was an old from a library book. I tore it out of a library book, so it needed some help to be refurbished. So we put this dictionary paper on here, and I put on here, this is an acetate mushroom sticker. I just thought it looked so pretty on there, so I just put that on there. And then here, see, this other little mushroom hides down in there, just like the, what was it, a bunny in the front. So you take this one out and you have a little mushroom, because there's a mushroom there. And then I have some little fabric sewn up on top of this one too, little scrap fabric. And we put this paper on together where we backed it there. So it looks like it doesn't look, when I first showed it to you, you probably thought, oh, that's kind of tattered and grungy, Sheree, but now it looks like a new, library card. So nice writing spot, right? There it is. It is very vintage. The first date is 1968, so pretty cool. So everything in here is authentic, original, vintage things, new things, but no printed things. So I hope you enjoyed the making, what I did show you of the making and the flip through. So let me show you quickly some of these goodies. So you see the colors here. So, and I didn't put any trims on this one because it's a binder. And I didn't put a closure on here because it's a binder. I was going to, and I thought, you know, binder journals, I usually don't put like a closure on here. And I just felt like, I don't know, something told me not to, so I didn't. And so, but I thought if somebody gets this and they want to put some trims, I put these really pretty, see, look at the front door. These match, and there's some of this turquoisey, like a dark turquoise over here in the tree. And here in the door, of course, and even up in here in the like stained glass or whatever, and in words right here. So I put this pretty kind of ruffled lace. Somebody could put this in here as a trim. So let me move that back over. I just wanted to show you the colors and why I put that in there. And I also had this ruffle that goes with that very well too. Those colors, see the door? So two things that can be used as trim. And you can always, if you get a piece of lace like this, you can always cut it. You know what I mean? Like, say you wanted it to be shorter or, you know, less wide this way. You could cut this part off. Or you could say you want to use it, but you want to use it all. You could just cut it in half. So I just wanted to make sure you knew that, because I probably didn't know that when I first started junk journaling, and then I started doing, cutting my lace smaller because I needed it to be smaller. Even this is a wide piece of pink lace, but you could cut, say you wanted this piece right here, just cut that out and use that on something, Don't be afraid to cut your lace. Okay, so that's the lace and trims. On the bottom here, let me pull this little bottom part out here. There's a bunch of scraps that I collected from the making of this journal pretty much. This wasn't in there, but it was scrap floating here on my desk that fell out of the paper I was using, so I put it in here. This is scraps from the notebook paper. So, and this is from the floral glassine paper. So, yeah, lots of little scraps from the making of this journal. And then I put in a couple of the cut-aparts. There's a pretty 4x6 card. And then, let me move this back over here. This one, Forever is Made of Moments Like This. And I kind of thought, I don't know who's going to get this journal, but I'll show you something that I put in here that reminded me, like, if you're going to put this, maybe if this was going to be a gift or a Mother's Day gift or something, some of these things would be really appropriate for, you're giving it to your mom and you're saying these, some of these things to her in a way that maybe if you add them to the journal, they'd be like you're saying these things to your mom. So, and I'll show you what I'm talking about in a second. Some of these things, but here's a blue tag that you can decorate a couple of playing cards, and I thought the colors went well with this journal. I really like these. They're nice and vintagey cards. And then a couple of vocabulary cards. Here's another cut apart, or a couple more cut aparts I put in here. These two. And let's see. Okay, there's some flowers. I punched out flowers. And these we decorated together. On one of my videos, we put little center stickers. They're little circle stickers. I mean, just little tiny things, but we put them as little centers to these flowers. Here's one more. They all don't have the center, but a couple of them do. A couple of Rolodex cards you can have fun with. Oh, there's three Rolodex cards. And then I'm going to show you what's in the envelope in a second. I put some of these in here in case you wanted to make tabs, or you can always make a cluster or something too, but I try to pick out colors that went with the journal. Like I could easily right now make a cluster to go over that barcode in the back, but I'll leave these in here and I'll pick out some more for that cluster to go over the barcode. But yeah, I just thought all these colors went, and they're all pinked. Pretty much I think they're all pinked around the edges, so that's always pretty. I think the pinked edges are pretty. So those are in there to have fun with. The laces, oh, and these, my sewn together strips, and these are pretty long right here. They're sewn down the middle, and they're 3 strips of scraps that I put together and sew together to use up my strips. And so you can use these as a whole on a page edge, or cut them up as tabs, or on a page, tabs on journal cards, or tags, whatever. So those are in there. All very useful things, I think. And then in the little coin envelope, which you can use also. And these will be put in a paper bag, which you can also use for something. But in here, I have some little paper punches too. These little scallops. They're all made of, well, this is like book page. That is graph paper, craft cardstock, just whatever scraps I have, that's how I use them up. This is music. That's how I use them up. Sometimes I just make paper. You get out my paper punches and punch some paper, make shapes. But here's some little flowers and hearts here. Several of those little flowers and hearts. Let's see. Here's all. I put a bunch of hearts in here. So it looks like music manuscript. Anyway, and then I was going to glue one of these in on the first page. I was going to glue this one right here because I really liked it. You are loved. And I thought I was going to put it right here. I thought it looked cute right there. But I didn't because I just thought maybe somebody wouldn't want it there, or somebody might want to put it somewhere else, But I thought if you're giving that to, you get this for your mom, a Mother's Day gift, wouldn't that be cute to put right there as a starting page for your mom? It's almost going to make me cry. But anyway, so I put it in here. I put it in here for somebody to do whatever they want with. So super cute, I think, and I hope you enjoyed. Oh, one more thing. I have a little de-stash of some playing cards, and there, I think I counted 29. I think I counted 29. I counted them before the video. There's 29 playing cards here. So in the next two orders that I get, I'm going to divide these in half. So one will get 15, one will get 14. But I'm going to divide these in half. These are just random. They're not, I don't think, some are vintage. I think most are vintage. There might be one or two that are not vintage, but I think most of these are vintage. But these are for somebody to do whatever they want with. If they want them, they can keep them, they can share them, they can pass them on, whatever they want to do. Cover them up, just get crafty with them, whatever you want to do. But these are going to be divided as a little kind of extra free thank you gift in between my next two journal orders. Not just orders, they got to be journal orders. And you can order other stuff too. But I'm just saying. They're going to be divided up between the next two journal orders. So whatever, I've got other journals in my shop too, a few others. So next two journal orders will get, some of this de-stash of playing cards. Two orders. These will be divided between. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Let me get the glare off of there for you. And hope you enjoyed this one. My next one's going to be probably a Disney journal. Then I'm going to see if I can turn that one into a binder journal. I have to look through and see what little binder mechanisms I've collected and see if they're the right size for a Disney, because it needs to be a little bit longer. Those are a little bit taller, and I would like the binder mechanism to be a little bit longer too. I think this is my only one that I had that was 6 ring. I might have another one, but still, I want for the Disney ones, I want a little bit longer. So we'll see. I'll show you when I get it together, and I hope you enjoyed this one. It might be later this week, by the way, so stay tuned, and I'll see you then. Have a great day.